doing, guys?
Morning.
Morning. Hey, before you guys get started with questions, I just wanted to say something, if you don't mind. The sports, football world and Las Vegas community specifically lost someone this past week in Coach John Robinson. So just wanted to acknowledge him. He was my college coach, had a big impact on my life, both professionally and personally. And then my dad, who just joined the staff, obviously you guys know that, he played for him in Oregon, he coached for him, and that's how my dad met my mom. She was his secretary at USC. So obviously big part of our family, tough loss, and it's a tough loss for everybody in the football community. A legendary coach, College Football Hall of Fame. So just wanted to acknowledge that before we got started here. Thank you.
Scott, you mentioned your dad, Norv, coming into the building. What kind of role do you see for him, and moving forward with you as the quarterback now?
He has such a wealth of knowledge. We were joking. I was telling the guys, I said he called offensive plays in the NFL from 1991 to 2019, and he missed 1 year. He missed 2017. So you have somebody that has done that. He had #1 offenses in 3 different decades. And he's my dad, so we like being around each other. We lost some coaches on offense, so just another set of eyes. He knows how I see football because I learned it, most of it from him. So being able to have him, see our at practice every day, not just watching the games from afar or whatever, and helping just with input is invaluable. And then for a personal note, obviously it's good to have him around, and my kids are fired up to have their grandfather around. So.
What's the first step of that? Is that, here's our tapes, can you take a look at this?
Yeah, he's done a really good job of, he watches football constantly. He knows what we've done on offense. Obviously, the verbiage is totally foreign to him, but, I just translate it. He just says what he thinks, and I know, oh yeah, we call him this and whatever. So it's really not that hard. And then, just fundamentals, tidbits for the quarterback. He's sitting in a lot of the quarterback meetings. Just stuff that you don't even think of. Again, I can only see so much. We have a great coaching staff. Those guys are doing a great job too, but just another set of eyes with, the wealth of experience that he has. Who also, he's not afraid to tell me what he really thinks, obviously. So that part of it is great as well.
What have you seen with the run game this year? How do you try and fix it?
We've had some issues. Obviously, we're not doing a great job right now running the football. Trying to just make sure that the communication is great. With up front, so we're #1. We know who we're getting to. Coach Philbin, he's going to do a great job. He's he in practice yesterday, and just really focusing on the fundamentals of hat placement. Understanding what we're trying to get out of every run. Hopefully we can stay a little healthier and have some continuity, which will help us going up front. And then the backs, just being decisive. Don't worry about making a mistake or putting the ball in the wrong place. Just go hit it and run and get your pads going forward. And then we got to get first downs. You got to get first downs, whether it's in the run or pass, to give yourself more attempts. To run the football, because that's where we're lacking too. We're lacking in attempts. We haven't had great efficiency, but we're also low at attempts as well.
Scott, you've been an offensive coordinator before. What did you learn from that experience that you think could help with this?
Yeah, a lot. This league is tough. It's very competitive. You got to bring it every day. Different people are going to play you different ways. Certain matchups are going to favor you schematically more than others. But really, it's just dealing with the people. This is a relationship business, and you got to understand what your guys on your team do the best, and then try to find a way to get that out of them, and then get them to perform at the highest level every single week. Because there's no bad teams in this league. Anybody can beat anybody. There's no bad coaches. You're gonna get a tough matchup that you're gonna have to deal with every week. And you got to stay sharp, and you got to deal with adversity. I told the guys this league's about adversity, and you learn that. I learned that in Washington. I was coordinator for 3 years, and whatever. We were 8-1, got fired. It didn't work out. So, I'm getting an opportunity, and I'm just excited to work with our players and just trying to make them perform at the best level they're capable of.
Well, obviously, this time of year isn't the time of year to overhaul things and to completely install a new offense. But how do you go about trying to make the improvements and maybe make it look a little bit different? And will it look a lot or noticeably different?
Yeah, it's like you said. You're not going to go in and put a brand new offense in the bye week in the middle. Going into week 10. But when when you any real offense, and again, I've only been in a few systems, but everyone kind of has, you know, you might coach it a little different, but they have a lot of scheme, and then what shows up on Sunday isn't necessarily what's in, you know, what's been in training camp or what's been installed, and it's just a matter of what you get to. So maybe some things that, you know, I'm a little bit more comfortable with, or I feel like will help us be successful. We have it, you know what I mean, and then it's just a way of getting it communicated to our players in a way that it makes sense to them. And you know, they might be a couple new things here and there, and we'll see how that grows, you know, as the season goes on. But really, it's just like I said, it's about I'm not going to come up here and say it's not about the plays, but because a lot of it's about the plays, but it's about the players believing in the plays and knowing exactly what to do so that they can play fast all the time and then reach their capabilities. And everyone's is different, right? So whatever that may be.
How valuable is
Yesterday, Scott, when Antonio mentioned that he was sticking with Gardner as the quarterback, you being the former pass game coordinator, now the interim OC, he talked about sticking the confidence back into him. How do you go about doing that now?
I think everyone, you know, when you lose 5 games in a row and you're 2-7 and you go into a bye, I think everyone kind of needed a little bit of a reset, you know. And you look at the games, and like I said, I talked about the competitiveness of the games. Like one play here and there can kind of throw a game, you know, good or bad. And so I think when you look back and you show those guys, see, hey, look at all these positives, look at all the good things you did, and then give them solutions to eliminate the negatives. The other team's always going to make plays. That's going to happen in every NFL game. I think you guys have seen enough to know that. But what you can't do is you just can't give them. You know, you can't give them plays. You know, some of the plays late in the down, whatever. Like we just got to be better to, you know, whether if it's not in our favor, to get to the next down, and then when it is our favor, we gotta capitalize on them. And again, there's been good. We just gotta, you know, build on that, and that's what you gotta, you know, focus on. Kind of let them reset, let them get away from it. We did that, and now, you know, hit the ground running, and again, try to put these guys in situations where they feel confident that they're going to be successful.
How valuable was it having the extra week with a bye to really take a look at the offense?
It was good. I mean, it was really valuable for me. You know, guys got away. I didn't like leave town. I came in, you know, a pretty decent amount. I spent some time with my family, but just to kind of get to, you know, to what you answer both your questions, like what do I feel comfortable kind of changing or manipulating a little bit. You know, that was big, and kind of like evaluating what we did well, evaluate stuff maybe we didn't do well and we want to kind of stay away from. And then every game's different. Like I told the players it's 8 1-week season, so like, you know, we're focused on Miami. You know, we're all in on whatever we need to do, and then, you know, when that game's over, we'll reset and go on to the next one.
You started off talking about Coach Robinson. What did he teach you, just from a football perspective? What did you learn from him?
Well, really, I mean, what I was talking about, I mean, football-wise, obviously he was, you know, so big with, like, schematically in the run game, like big-time run game. He was so good with the backs, you know, big focus on that. We had a lot of, you know, when I was there, we had guys like Joe Harrow, Dominic Dorsey, you know, that were, you know, good backs, and Larry Kroom, Deontay Perkins, guys, watching them and watching how he coached them, that was cool to see, really helping those guys. And then, but the big thing that he did as the head coach, and what I said before is like, this is a relationship business, and I learned that from him, just like how he truly cared about all the players on the team, and it didn't matter, you know, walk on or the highest recruit that we had there at the time, you know, he knew about them, and he found time to build relationships with guys to try to help them, you know, again, be the best that they can be, and that's what, you know, that's what coaching is about, and that's why you get in this business.
Scott, going back to the offensive line, it feels like individually there's a lot of talent. This offensive line, they've all played regionally well as individuals, but collectively maybe it hasn't, you know, gone in the direction you guys wanted it to. Why do you feel that is, and what do you feel like you guys can do to kind of get that collectiveness?
I think, you know, our focus has got to be on communication. Like, those guys got to communicate. Like I said, hopefully we can get some continuity. You know what I mean? We have had changing lineups there, and you're right. Like, we got some talented guys up front, and I think we got some guys that are young guys that are going to continue to get better. And I think the more they play, the more they communicate. You know, if we can make things, again, you can't just say we're going to be super simple, because you got to go try to make plays. But as much as we can walk that line, you know, that helps those guys as well. You know, because when guys know what to do, that allows them to play fast, which builds confidence, and then you play better.
Can you just kind of walk us through the process of you finding out about this opportunity, what like the very first steps were, what your thought process was?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep that a little bit in-house, but AP, he made the decision that he made, and he contacted me, and we kind of went through the process, and the only thing I really asked for was if we could get have my dad come just for some help, and he was good about that. He played again when AP was a player. He played against my dad when he was a coach, so he said he thought it was a good idea, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we had some other conversations that I'll leave.
Did Dad jump through the phone line, or was
He
there
just
any
said,
kind
he said, don't tell your mom. He was like, I gotta find out how I'm gonna break it. She was good. She was like, I don't know why he was like so nervous. I was like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? So he's living with me, so he's my kids are enjoying that. I mean, they don't see him much, but they will as you get to the end of the week, and my mom will be out here in about a week or so. So that's, I mean, I coached with my dad before. He was the coordinator. I was the quarterback coach. So being able to live close to him was great. Now my kids are older, they're 10 and 8, so they're like super fired up, like about having Papa around. So that part of it on a personal note is really cool.
On that personal level also, Scott, I mean, has it kind of hit you yet? I mean, not only being able to coach with your dad again, but also where your college career was, and then being able to call the plays here in this town again.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I didn't, when I left, I was coaching the NFL for a while. I didn't know if I'd come back to Vegas. There wasn't a team, so, being back here, living here again, almost 2 years now, has been cool. I went to the Friday night Boise UNLV game, saw a lot of guys I hadn't seen in like 20 years. So, it's good. And it's a great opportunity, but just again, trying to get these guys going and get the most out of them, and just being, that's what excites me is, the opportunity I think that we have to get better, and go play and go try to win some football games.
You spoken with the site lately?
Yeah, I talk to Shane every once in a while. Obviously, we're both really busy. Somebody sent me a picture actually of Coach Robinson and me and Shane like in the background. But he's dealing with it too, like we all are, So just fighting through the NFL schedule.
Is there any one big takeaway that you hope to draw from your father's experience, especially because he did have experience with this organization?
Yeah, it's changed a lot, the organization in that time, so not so much that. I can't even put like my finger, that's what was so big about, to me, being able to have him around all the time is, instead of just a phone conversation, like there's stuff that comes up, we're walking, I could go walk to practice and he'd be, hey, I just thought of something, and I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea, you know what I mean? So just that, the stuff that happens at practice, I mean, everything, I can't even name it, it's invaluable, to have someone like that around.
When you do the self-scout and Gardner, what are your biggest takeaways as far as this for the first half?
Just consistency. Consistency. He knows. We gotta obviously take care of the football. And then just again the consistency of it. I'm not gonna get into the schematic details and everything like that, but just one play at a time. You know what I mean? And don't try to do too much. You know what I mean? Just kind of take what they give you and move on to the next play.
Antonio mentioned his confidence yesterday. How is his confidence doing?
He's been good. We've had a great couple days. Guys were in here Tuesday, kind of work out and a walkthrough, and then we had practice yesterday. I felt like he had a good day, and just kind of keep building it up as we get closer to game day.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you.